All right, so this is what you need to get ready for your final exam. Very first thing I want you to do is any of the documents that you've created in Photoshop and are a .psd or a Photoshop file, you guys need to then convert to something that's readable by PowerPoint. And in this case, the thing that's readable by PowerPoint is a JPEG. This was one of those things that I asked you about earlier in the school year in that little list of things can you do, and most of you said no. This was one of those things. Can you convert a file? It sounds really fancy, but it's honestly not. This one happens to be a different type of a file. Normally, I would have a photograph up here for you guys. This was something I was using for a demo. But to change your file format, you're going to go File, Save As. And right here under Format, you're going to go ahead and select JPEG. Make sure it's the regular straight up JPEG, not a JPEG 2000. You want to do the straight JPEG. Do you have to change the name? No, you do not have to change the name. You can save it to whatever it is. You'll have two files showing. One that'll be boombox2.psd, the other one that'll be boombox2.jpg. And again, it's the .jpg that will work into your PowerPoints. The only things that you need to convert are anything that you want to use on your own. Let's say you want to have a portfolio of the images you've created in class, or there's a special project that you would just like to have a copy of. If you don't convert it to a JPEG, you won't be able to read it unless you have Adobe products, okay? And then, again, the other thing you would convert is anything you're going to use in your portfolio. So at that stage, you're going to say Save, and that's ready to go. Once you've gotten those done, you're going to go ahead and go to your File Explorer down here, and we're going to go back to the P drive. I'm glad you guys have some background with the P drive because it's really important that you guys kind of follow that same pathway. P drive, classes, me, but in this case you're going to go to Teacher Handouts. Do not go to the Student Dropbox, go to Teacher Handouts. In Teacher Handouts there's a folder called Exam Files. That has all my exam files for each of my classes, so please go in there and select the correct one. This one, I had people opening up just the first one. Again, you see in bold, that's my sample. If you want to see an example of one, that's what it would look like. Right here, we're looking for Photo Blank Semester Exam 2016. Once it's opened up, the very first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to save it to your H drive. And I'm going to show you really quick. File, Save As is what you're going to hit. And then you're going to go ahead and browse or go to My Computer. Mine happens to be over here. I believe you'll have a square here that says Browse. You're going to hit Browse. And then you're going to go over to that left-hand column and you're going to find your H drive. Again, just a reminder, your H drive should have your ID number. It usually ends in a $, and you'll see the H at the end of it. And you're going to then change. Before you hit enter and rush around, please change from blank to your name. Please do not put my name. I say that because it's happened. Your name should go there. All right? So from there, you're going to hit save. It exists because I've done the demo before, so I'm just going to go ahead and say yes, just to be done with it. We're going to pretend that didn't happen, but now we're ready. You've just saved it to your H drive. The next class that you guys come in, instead of going to the P drive to open up your document like you did today, you're actually going to open up PowerPoint. You're going to go File, Open, and then you're going to find it. Mine happens to be the first one. Actually, the second one here. Look at that. This one says P. This one says H. Or again, you just browse for it to make sure you open up the correct one. So at this stage, going back to here, there are 8 slides. 3 of those slides you're going to delete before the end of the project is saved. And then 5 have actual content. It's a super, super, super direct final. So keep that in mind. So the first slide tells you to move everything from the P drive to your H drive. Some people may have things on the P drive that are not on your H drive any longer. You can then go ahead over to your File Explorer. You can then take whatever that file is and you can drag it into your H drive, etc. So if you need to do that, you have that option. In this case, I don't need to do that. I can press delete on my keyboard and get rid of that file. Get rid of that slide. Second one is what I already directed you to do. File, Save As, when you first open it, to make sure that you're saving it in your documents in your H drive. Then you're going to hit save. You're ready to go. Once that's completed, get rid of it. This is your first actual content slide. So right here, I already typed in our class. This is just information reminding you you have to be present on the day of your final exam, that if you don't have your final exam portfolio, it will be graded as a 0. If it's half done, you're better off turning in something that's halfway done than not turning it in at all. Also, if something goes wrong and you're doing incorrect saves and you lose work, you will not get any concessions made. I've done so many things to back up how it is you guys need to save that you should be able to do it right. If you do not do it right, I need for you to make sure that you are following through and asking me questions so I can help you. There's 0 excuse for wrong saves and losing information. You still have to do the work over again then, okay? So with that, please replace this with your own name. I cannot tell you how many portfolios I get without a name present here. Please place your name there. You can leave me here, and then please go ahead and put period 8 over here. So that's your first slide. At this stage, you can also look at the design, because the design will impact some of what you put down in your portfolio, and it changes a little bit of the layout. Excuse me. When you go to the Design tab on the top, you're going to go ahead and use this little drop arrow, and you can go ahead and pick one of them. Let's say I want to pick this one. Okay? You also see that there are variants on that. So over here, let's say I don't want to go with this because like most people will pick one of these and just leave it as such. So I'm going to choose a variant. And then I could even go ahead and do this little drop down arrow and work on a different whole set of colors completely. So mine will be unique to me. All right? With that, I may want to work with my layout. I may not like the way that laid out my starting slide. I may want to go ahead back to my home, go ahead and center that again. Maybe I want to change the color or the font. Maybe this is the one where I want to put something that's a little bit fancier. As long as I can still read it, I can make something look a little bit nicer. Maybe I'll do something really cool like that. Type in my name. Probably go ahead and upsize it right over here with the up arrow next to the A. It increases your font size. I can make that a little, obviously too large. Let's go maybe about right there, okay? This stuff, left justification, maybe I want to put that to the right. And again, right over here, maybe I want that one to go over to the right. I like that layout more, perhaps, okay? So those are all things I want you to consider because they will affect your later slides. This one right here, if you left the slide like this, you're missing content because it's behind a picture. So in this case, I'm going to highlight all of that, and I'm going to go ahead and down font, decrease the font size, and it actually works much better. I can then go ahead and hover around the outside and move that up a little bit, and then work with it. Let's say I want to make it even smaller and change it so that the letters kind of coincide with that little arrow. Again, paying attention to how it's going to look to me and your other viewers. Now, this is a picture that I placed in there as a sample, but please know this picture should not stay. People earlier today thought that they were comparing one of their works to this piece. It's not even a photograph. So it was just a sample of how a picture could look inside of there. So again, it tells you right-click on the mouse, select Change Picture, and then you're going to go ahead and yours again will look a little bit different than mine, but you're going to select your picture from the file. You're going to go ahead and select it and say Insert, and then that picture will be there. So this one is comparing your strongest work to your weakest work. Perhaps it's a blurry picture, an underexposed, which is like a dark picture, an overexposed, a very bright picture. Whatever that picture may be, it doesn't look so good, and that's my weakest work. And then I'm going to put the one maybe I'm really proud of that shows that I can actually do a picture in the right ways, with the right exposures, with the right level of focus, etc. So that's that one. And then notice, equally as important, how you answer these questions. Your questions, you can answer very vanilla. Okay? It was my weakest work because it looked bad. It's my greatest work because it looks good. That will equal a very vanilla grade. Very entry level. Why does it look bad? Why does it look good? There are some prompts here that are actually here to help. So please look at them and answer those questions. The more fully you answer, the better the quality of your writing grade. Obviously a big part of me understanding this, really important to your grade. 3, influence on your work. You're going to go ahead and look up a photographer. It has to be someone researchable on Google or another search engine. Please do not say, can I use my grandmother? Can I use my cousin? Can I use you? Can I use my classmate? No. I would like for you to actually have to research someone or put a little bit of information about that person's work if you know someone already who is a famous, even if it's a current modern day or if they're long deceased, whoever it might be. Again, put a picture of their work in here. Bonus, if you put a piece of work that kind of reflects what they do. So if they're a landscape photographer, maybe you put a picture of your landscape in there as well. Okay? Slide 4, the most improved. Again, you're going to look and show me and tell me about why you think this photograph shows a lot of improvement. Maybe it's one that you grew learning Photoshop. Maybe like you're really hesitant on Photoshop and you actually learned, oh man, it finally clicked here. Here, my work is communication. You guys have a lot of different pieces that you've created. In your Grateful 9 project was a huge communication piece. It was supposed to send that message of those things that I am grateful for. Things that are in my life that make a difference, that made a difference. I took the time to notice them. That's a huge communication piece. But also in more recently looking at your scavenger hunt pictures, you know, that peaceful place, you know, that peaceful moment, that communicates something. So look at some of those. And then lastly, this is the very last, sorry, we're missing a letter there. This is the very last slide that will be deleted again when you are all done. This is how you're going to copy and paste into the P drive. Again, reminder, you have to copy and paste. You cannot, even from PowerPoint, no program will allow you to direct save to the P drive. That's the way your profiles are set up. So you have to then close down PowerPoint, copy and paste the file, and get that put into the P drive properly. That file will not exist until next week. I want to encourage you to make sure that you are doing a very full, very good job on this portfolio. I've actually budgeted 1 day per slide. Some of you will, and some of you honestly should finish a little early, but please do not finish early and have a very plain presentation. I don't want to see it like when it was first opened up with a white background with text that is exactly what I put down there. I want to see that you've bumped that up and you've looked at the layout and design and composition of your final piece, because those are all things we've studied this semester, okay? So with that, this video is going to be put into YouTube. You can go ahead and refer to it as often as you need. Again, especially for help when you're converting files in Photoshop, as a quick reminder, whatever it might take. But again, there's a sample in the P drive as well, sample portfolio, that will walk you through some of the things in case you're wondering what can be put there. One of my favorite pictures, my Charlie says, Mom, my cookie has an angry face. I got really worried why he would say his cookie has an angry face. And I finally took a look at it, and guess what? His cookie had an angry face. Do you see it? So again, I took the time to notice that. I want you to take the time to really talk about your photographs, to not just give me plain, boring, and bland that could go with any photograph. Okay? So do a great job. Go ahead into the P drive, and we'll get going.